Listen to me. You're stronger than you think. I don't care what the world told you. I don't care what your past said. I don't care what the mirror whispered at 3 a.m. You got something inside of you that they can't measure. You got a fight, a fire, a spirit in you that wasn't made to fold under pressure. It was made to grow through it. See, the reason you feel broken, the reason you feel like you're drowning is because you haven't even tapped into the 10% of who you are. You've been measuring your strength by your struggles, but I'm here to tell you, your strength shows when you keep moving despite the struggle. When life hit me, I hit back. When my daddy walked out, I hit back. When I was homeless, eating out of trash cans, I hit back. Because I learned this. Life ain't about what happens to you. It's about what you do with what happens. And every time I stood back up, I realized I was stronger than I thought I was. You don't need a perfect life. You need a made-up mind. A made-up mind that says, I don't care how hard it gets. I don't care what I lose. I'm not quitting. You think strength is just lifting weights? Nah, real strength is lifting yourself every time you fall. So stop doubting. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for somebody to save you. You've got the power in you. You just got to believe it, unlock it, and use it. Because guess what? You're stronger than you think. Most people walk through life thinking that adversity is a sign they're weak, that the moment they face pain, obstacles, or failure, it means something is wrong with them. But the truth is, adversity doesn't reveal weakness, it reveals strength. It uncovers what was already inside of you. And if you look closely, you'll realize that the most powerful version of you shows up in the hardest moments of your life. Think about it. When you were at your lowest, your darkest, your most broken, then you still find a way to keep going. You might not have sprinted forward. You might have crawled, but you moved. You didn't quit. That's not weakness. That's strength in disguise. You've got to understand, adversity is not a punishment. It's a mirror. It doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to expose you. Because the truth is, you don't even know how strong you are until you're forced to use muscles you didn't even realize existed. That's what hardship does. It puts you in a position where you don't have the luxury of being average anymore. It pushes you into becoming someone you didn't know you could be. The grind, the pain, the tears, they are setbacks. They're setups for something bigger. Most people think strength is about lifting weights or standing tall. But real strength shows up when you're barely standing. It shows up when you have every reason to give up and you keep showing up anyway. You see, when life throws punches, the weak look for the exit. The strong dig deep. And not because they were born with something special, but because adversity forced them to look inside and pull out something they didn't even know they had. You may think you're not qualified. You may think you're not smart enough, not strong enough, not tough enough. But what if I told you that's not true? What if I told you the only reason you think that way is because you haven't been forced to meet the version of you that shows up under pressure? What if I told you that you've been looking at yourself through the lens of ease, and the real you, the powerful, unbreakable, unstoppable you, only shows up when things get hard? You have to stop letting struggle make you feel small. Struggle isn't a curse. It's a classroom. It teaches you resilience. It teaches you patience. It teaches you grit. And here's the thing. The lessons you learn in the fire are the ones that last time when everything's going right. You don't grow, growth happens when things go wrong. When your plan falls apart. When your back's against the wall. That's when strength is born. Not in comfort, but in chaos. You got to reframe how you see adversity. Don't say, why is this happening to me? Say, what is this trying to teach me? Because if you can see the lesson, you can find the strength. The strength. If you can understand the reason behind the pain, you can tap into a power that most people never discover. The average person gives up when life gets hard. But the great ones, they get stronger. They use the pain. They let it fuel them. They turn their wounds into wisdom and their losses into leverage. You are not weak because you're struggling. You're not broken because you're hurting. You're not lost because you feel like quitting. No, those are the signs that you're still in the fight. And as long as you're still in the fight, there's still a chance for victory. Real strength isn't about how many times you win. It's about how many times you refuse to lose. It's about standing up one more time when life knocks you down. And every time you rise, even with shaky hands and a broken heart, you prove that you are stronger than you think. Think about the moments that shaped you most in life. Were they the easy days, the comfortable moments, or were they the days that stretched you, broke you, challenged you? The days where you didn't think you could keep going, but you did anyway. That's where your real strength was built. Not in sunshine, but in storm. Not in victory, but in battle. And you might be in one of those battles right now. You might be feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, like nothing is going right. But don't confuse the chaos with failure. Don't confuse the pressure with punishment. You're being forged, molded, refined. And you got two choices. You can either let adversity defeat you, or you can let it define you. And I promise, if you choose to rise, you will come out stronger, wiser, and more dangerous than you've ever been. People who never faced real adversity often don't know who they are, but people who fought through it, cried through it, bled through it, they know. They walk differently. They think differently. Because once you realize you've made it through what should have broken you, you stop being afraid of what's coming next. You stop doubting yourself. Because the same strength that got you through your last battle is still inside of you, ready to carry you through the next. I need you to hear me. Adversity doesn't mean you're weak. It means life believes you're strong enough to handle more. You don't get tested unless there's greatness to unlock. You don't get pressure unless there's purpose buried inside of you. And when you choose to face adversity head on, when you stop seeing it as the enemy and start seeing it as the invitation to level up, everything changes. So the next time you're in pain, the next time you're tired, frustrated, ready to throw in the towel, I want you to pause. I want you to breathe. And I want you to remind yourself, this is where strength is born. This is where warriors are made. This is where the strongest version of me comes alive. Because adversity doesn't weaken you, it awakens you, and you're stronger than you think. You've survived 100% of your worst days. That's not just a phrase to throw around. It's a fact. Every heartbreak, every failure, every loss, every moment when you felt like the world was too heavy and you didn't know how you were going to keep breathing, you made it through. You're still standing. You're still here. And that means you got a strength inside of you that's deeper and more powerful than you give yourself credit for. Too often, we get caught up in the struggle we're facing now and forget about everything we've already conquered. We let the current challenge convince us that we're not built for this. But the truth is, you've already faced things that tried to take you out, and they failed. You've already had nights where you cried yourself to sleep, days when you didn't want to get out of bed, situations where you thought you were done. And yet somehow you kept going. Somehow you found the strength to take another step. And that's what you got to hold on to, the proof that you've been here before. Maybe not in this exact situation. Maybe the pain is different. The weight is heavier. The challenge feels more impossible. But even when you didn't know how you were going to make it, you still did. You didn't need a perfect plan. You didn't need everything to be right. All you needed was to keep moving forward, even if it was slow, even if it was messy, even if it felt like crawling. Every scar you carry is evidence that you give up. It's not a mark of weakness. It's a reminder of your resilience. And sometimes you need that reminder. Sometimes you've got to pause and look back, not to relive the pain, but to recognize your power, to see how many mountains you've already climbed, how many storms you've already survived. Because if you made it through that, you can make it through this. We live in a world that glorifies perfection. That tells you if you're struggling, you're failing. But that's a lie. Struggling doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're still fighting. It means you haven't quit. And as long as you haven't quit, you're winning. The people who make it aren't always the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to let failure have the final word. They're the ones who keep getting up no matter how many times they get knocked down. It's easy to look at someone else and think they're stronger than you. It's easy to compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel and assume they've got it all together, but you don't know what they've been through. You don't know what battles they fought. And more importantly, you got your own victories to be proud of. Your own battles that you won. You don't need to be anyone else. You just need to remember that you got a perfect record for surviving your worst days. And I get it. Sometimes it feels like that record doesn't matter. When you're in the middle of pain, it feels like nothing else exists. Like the world has narrowed down to the one thing breaking your heart. But in those moments, you have to zoom out. You have to remind yourself that you felt this way before. And every time you thought it was the end, it wasn't. Every time you thought you were finished, you found more strength. You found a way through. You didn't just survive, you grew. Think about that for a second. You didn't just endure your pain. You learned from it. You became more compassionate, more resilient, more grounded. That heartbreak taught you what real love should look like. That failure taught you how to pivot, how to grow. That rejection taught you that you don't need validation from everyone. You just need to believe in yourself. So yes, those were hard days, some of the hardest. But they also built you into the person you are today. Stronger, wiser, braver. And you're still becoming. This current challenge is another chapter in your story. Another obstacle that you'll look back on one day and say, that didn't break me. That built me. You might not see it yet. You might still be in the fire. But trust me, the same strength that got you through before is still in you now. It hasn't left. It didn't disappear. It's just waiting for you to tap back into it. So when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel like you're drowning, take a breath. Remind yourself that this isn't the first time you felt lost. This isn't the first time you've been scared, and yet you found your way back every time. Not because life suddenly got easy, but because you refused to quit. You chose to show up for yourself even when everything hurt. You chose to keep living when it would have been easier to shut down. That's not just survival, that's strength. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is keep breathing. Keep waking up, keep facing the day. And if that's all you can do right now, that's enough. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Because every step you take is proof that you're still in the fight. Every breath is a victory. And every moment you choose to rise is a declaration that your past didn't win, your pain didn't win. You did. There will be more hard days. That's the truth. Life doesn't get easier. It just gives you more tools to deal with the challenges. And every day you choose to keep going, you sharpen those tools. You grow more equipped, more prepared, more powerful. So when the next storm comes, and it will, you'll face it with the memory of every battle you've already won. With the unshakable confidence that no matter what life throws at you, you'll keep rising. Because you've done it before. You are proof that broken doesn't mean defeated. That hurting doesn't mean hopeless. That struggling doesn't mean weak. You are the evidence that even in the darkest moments, there's still light. There's still strength. There's still something in you that refuses to quit. And that something is the reason you survived every worst day you've ever had. So when doubt creeps in, when fear starts whispering lies, silence it with the truth. I've been through hell before, and I came out stronger. This won't be the end of me. It'll be the making of me. You've survived 100% of your worst days. And that means you can survive this one too. Keep going. You're stronger than you think. Your mindset is your strongest muscle. Train it daily. Most people think physical strength is what determines a person's ability to overcome obstacles. They focus on endurance, stamina, grit in the body. But let me tell you something real. It's not the body that breaks first. It's the mind. Long before your muscles give out, your mindset will start whispering doubts, feeding fears, convincing you to slow down, back off, or quit altogether. That's why your mindset is everything. It's not just important, it's the foundation. And just like any other muscle must be trained daily. Your thoughts have the power to build or break you. They shape how you see yourself, how you view the world, and how you respond to challenges. If your mindset is weak, even the smallest obstacle can look like a mountain. But when your mindset is strong, even a mountain looks like a stepping stone. It's not what you go through that defines your strength. It's how you think while going through it. Now, this isn't about pretending everything is okay. This isn't about ignoring pain or acting like you're invincible. No, this is about choosing every single day to feed your mind with the kind of thoughts that make you resilient, focused, and determined. It's about refusing to give fear the final word. It's about silencing doubt with discipline. It's about telling yourself, I will not break, even when everything around you is trying to convince you otherwise. You've got to stop letting your circumstances decide how you think. Because if your mindset is built on conditions, if it only stays strong when things are good, you'll be weak the moment life flips the script. You've got to build a mindset that's unshakable no matter the weather. Rain or shine, Win or lose, you got to show up with a mind that's trained to endure, to grow, to adapt, to fight. That's the muscle you need to develop. The thing about the mind is that it's always listening. It listens to every excuse, every complaint, every limitation you speak. And the more you feed it weakness, the more it becomes your reality. But the reverse is also true. Feed your mind strength and you'll walk stronger. Feed it hope and you'll see opportunities. Feed it truth and you'll stop being a prisoner to fear. Every morning you have a choice. You can let the world choose your mindset or you can choose it yourself. You can scroll through negativity, compare yourself to others, and drown in self-doubt. Or you can take control. Start the day by declaring your worth. Speak life over your dream. Choose focus, choose faith. Choose faith. Choose to show up like you're already the person you're working to become. Training your mind is not an event. It's a lifestyle. It's waking up every day and doing the hard mental work that no one else sees. It's choosing discipline over distraction. It's choosing progress over perfection. It's learning to sit in discomfort without running. It's embracing the process, not just the outcome. Most people quit because they only train their bodies to push, but not their minds to endure. And when things got tough, they didn't have the inner strength to keep going. But not you. You're learning the secret that winners know, that everything begins and ends with the mind. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your training. If you haven't trained your mind for battle, don't be surprised when it retreats in the middle of the fight. You've got to prepare your mindset to lead you, especially when motivation is gone and emotions are unstable. It starts with awareness. You've got to know what you're telling yourself every day. Most of the time, we walk around repeating lies to ourselves without even realizing it. I'm not good enough. I always mess up. I'll never be successful. I don't have what it takes. And the mind, being the faithful servant it is, takes those beliefs and turns them into your reality. But what if you flip the script? What if you caught those negative thoughts and replaced them with truth? What if instead of I can't, you said I'm still learning instead of I'll never? You said I will in time. What if you stopped reinforcing your fears and started reinforcing your potential? That's how you train your mind. You catch the thought, you challenge the thought, and then you choose the thought that pushes you forward, even when it doesn't feel true yet. Because transformation doesn't begin with action. It begins with belief. You don't do better until you think better. And thinking better is a skill, a discipline, a practice. It's not natural, it's intentional. Some people live waste for hours, but never spend 5 minutes feeding their minds something powerful. They'll do push-ups, run miles, hit the gym, but when life hits them, they fall apart. Not because they weren't strong physically, but because they never trained mentally. What's the use of having physical strength if your mind falls under pressure? Mental strength is the root of every comeback story, every breakthrough, every level up. You need to treat your mindset like it's your life's most important asset, because it is. Guard what you allow in. Guard what you listen to. Guard the voices you believe. If someone told you that you're not good enough, you're not talented enough, you're not smart enough, let me be clear. That's not the truth. That's their limitation, not yours. But if you don't train your mind to challenge that, you'll start living like it's true. You got to program your mind the same way you would train a champion. Feed it with books, messages, experiences, and conversations that sharpen you. Surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking, not just comfort your weakness. Get around people whose minds are battle-tested, because strength is contagious. And don't just train it when things are hard. Train it all the time. Because when the storm comes, it's too late to prepare. You prepare now so that when life hits, you don't flinch. You've already trained for this. You've already rehearsed strength. So when the pressure comes, you don't collapse. You rise. The most powerful people you see, the leaders, the legends, the warriors, they don't just have talent, they have toughness. And that toughness was built day after day through mindset work, through choosing purpose over comfort, through showing up when it wasn't easy, through talking back to the fear in the head. And that's available to you too, if you're willing to do the mental reps. So don't just go to the gym, go to war with your thoughts. Don't just train your body. Train your belief. Start your day with declarations, not distraction. End your day with reflection, not regret. Speak life. Speak truth. Speak strength. Even when you don't feel it, especially when you don't feel it. Because your mindset is your strongest muscle, not your arms, not your legs, your mind. And when you train it every day, when you master the muscle in your head, you become unstoppable. Not because the world stopped throwing punches, but because you learn how to take the hit, stay standing, and keep fighting. That's what strong minds do, and so will you. You were built for the battle you're facing. That might sound like just another motivational line, but it's the truth. The situation you're in right now, the weight that feels too heavy, the pressure that seems unbearable, you were made for it. This isn't an accident. This isn't a punishment. This is a moment that was designed to bring out the very strength that's been lying dormant inside of you. The pain, the challenge, the fight. It's not here to break you. It's here to awaken you. See, most people assume that the presence of struggle means something's wrong. They think, if I'm facing this much resistance, I must not be meant for it. But the reality is the opposite. The battle shows up not because you're unprepared, but because it's time for you to evolve. It's time for you to grow into the next version of yourself. And growth never happens in comfort. Growth happens when you're tested, when you're pushed to the edge, when you're stretched beyond what you thought you could handle. That's where strength is built. You got to stop questioning your ability to endure just because the road got hard. The fact that it's hard doesn't mean you're not capable. It means you're right where you need to be. It means life trusts you with the challenge. The universe, God, whatever you believe, it wouldn't have handed you this battle if it didn't already equip you for it. You might not feel ready. You might not see the strength right now, but it's there and it's real. You've just got to dig deep enough to find it. This moment, this battle, it's not random. It's a part of your becoming. You were born with everything you need to survive what you're going through. The problem is you haven't had to use it before. That's why it feels unfamiliar. That's why it feels overwhelming. But just because it's new doesn't mean you're not ready. Your strength doesn't come from what you've done in the past. It comes from what you decide to do in this moment. Right here, right now. You were built with resilience. You were built with grit. You were built with a spirit that refuses to give up. And life has been preparing you for this. Every trial, every disappointment, every letdown, they were training you. They were sharpening you. They were laying the groundwork for this exact moment. And now that the storm has come, it's not here to drown you. It's here to show you that you become a warrior. You gotta stop running from the fight. You gotta stop wishing the mountain away. Start climbing it. Face it. Own it. Because the longer you avoid it, the longer you delay your growth. You don't discover what you're capable of by backing down. You discover it by stepping up, by showing up, by refusing to let your circumstances define your spirit. The strength isn't out there somewhere, it's in you. But it won't show up until you demand it to. When you look at champions, warriors, leaders, survivors, they all have one thing in common. They faced a battle that was meant to break them. But they didn't let it. They took the pain. They took the pressure. They took the loss and they used it. They didn't fold under it. They stood in it. They fought through it. And in doing so, they became stronger than they ever imagined. You've got to believe that what's in front of you is not greater than what's inside of you. The fear might be loud. The pressure might be heavy, but your will is stronger. Your purpose is greater. You're not in this by accident. You were built for it, built for the late nights, the heavy decision, the setbacks, the sleeplessness. You were built to rise when others fold. You were built to keep going when everything in you says stop. That doesn't mean it won't hurt. That doesn't mean you won't cry. That doesn't mean you won't question yourself. But even in the tears, even in the doubt, even in the chaos, you keep showing up. That's strength. That's power. That's the warrior inside of you that doesn't bow to pressure. That doesn't quit because it's hard. That fights because it was born to. So when you feel like giving up, I want you to remember this. You were made for this. You were chosen for this. And nothing you face is bigger than the purpose inside you. Don't let a temporary struggle make you forget your eternal power. Don't let one storm erase the truth of your strength. Storms come to clear path, not to close them. Sometimes life puts you in hard places, not to punish you, but to reveal your potential. You don't become great on accident. You become great by enduring what others walk away from, by staying when others quit, by believing in your power even when the world doubts it. That's what separates the average from the exceptional. The ability to face the battle and say, this won't take me out, it'll take me higher. Stop wishing for easy. Easy never made anyone strong. Easy never tested your will. Easy never brought transformation. What you're going through is shaping you. It's forging your character. It's preparing you for things greater than you can imagine. But you gotta trust the process. Trust the fight. Trust the challenge. Because you weren't made for a life of comfort. You were made for impact. And impact comes from pressure. You gotta stop speaking weakness over your life. Stop saying, I can't. Start saying, I'm capable. Stop saying, I'm capable. Stop saying, why me? And start saying, hey, try me. Every word you speak becomes a seed. And what you speak in the battle determines what you harvest on the other side of it. Speak life. Speak strength. Speak victory. Even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, speak it in. And when it feels like too much, when your knees are buckling and your heart is heavy, remember, this is just a moment, not a sentence, not the end. You are in the middle of a breakthrough. Don't abort the mission just because it's hard. Don't walk away when you're inches from your breakthrough. Keep going, keep fighting, keep trusting, because the victory waiting on the other side will make sense of every tear you cry. You were built for this battle, not just to survive it, but to win it, not just to get through it. Not just to get through it, but to grow through it. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not defeated. You are equipped. You are powerful. You are chosen. This moment was made for you, and you were made for this moment. So take a deep breath. Stand tall. Look your battle in the eye and remind it, I was built for this. Victory belongs to those who refuse to quit. That might sound simple, but it's the absolute truth. The people who win in life, the ones who rise to the top, the ones who accomplish the unthinkable, they're not always the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. More often than not, they're the ones who simply would not give up. They refuse to throw in the towel. They refuse to back down when life pushed them to their knees. They refuse to stop showing up, even when everything in them was screaming to quit. Refusing to quit isn't about pretending you're not tired. It's not about ignoring pain or acting like you're never scared. It's about choosing to press on in spite of the fear, the pain, the exhaustion. It's waking up on the days when you'd rather stay down and saying, not today. I didn't come this far just to come this far. That's what separates the winners from the ones who never see the finish line. You have to understand something. The path to victory is filled with obstacles by design. It's not smooth because smooth doesn't make you grow. If everything came easy, you wouldn't value it. If every step was effortless, you wouldn't build resilience. Life puts resistance in your path to see what you're really made of. Every challenge, every setback, every no, every failure is a test, not to see if you're capable, you already are, but to see if you're committed. You can't control what life throws at you, but you can control how long you're willing to stand in the storm. You can choose to endure. You can choose to rise again and again, no matter how many times you fall. That's the real fight, not the battle with your circumstances, but the one inside of you, the one that says, I will not give up. I will not go quietly. I will not bow to this, because quitting is easy. Giving up doesn't take strength. It takes strength to stay, to keep working, to keep believing, to keep trying when you don't see results yet. That's when your character is built. That's when your mindset becomes unshakable. That's when your spirit grows roots so deep, no wind can uproot you. Look around you. So many people started the same race you did. They had goals, they had vision, they had fire. But somewhere along the way, they quit. Not because they couldn't finish, but because they gave up too soon. They let fear win. They let fatigue speak louder than faith. They let temporary pain decide their permanent story, but not you. You're still here. You're still in the fight. You've been knocked down, yes. But you got back up. You've been hurt, yes. You didn't let it stop you. You've had days where you wanted to disappear, but you showed up anyway, and that matters. That effort, that persistence, that refusal to give in, that's what builds a legacy. Success isn't some magical place where everything falls into place. It's a mountain, and you climb it one painful, uncertain step at a time. You don't get there by luck. You get there by consistency, by grit, by holding on when others let go, by putting one foot in front of the other when your legs are shaking and your vision is blurred. That's what champions do. They keep going. They take the hit and keep moving forward. You gotta understand this deeply. There will be moments when it feels pointless, when nothing is working, when the progress is invisible, when the reward feels miles away. And it's in those moments that most people quit. But those are the moments that matter the most. Because on the other side of that valley is your breakthrough. On the other side of your resistance is your reward. But you'll never see it if you stop now. Quitting feels good in the moment. It gives you relief. It lets you off the hook. But that relief is temporary. Because the regret that follows, that stays, that lingers. That whispers to you in the dark. What if you had just held on a little longer? Don't give your future self that kind of pain. Don't settle almost. You've come too far. You've worked too hard. You've sacrificed too much. You need to remind yourself daily, this is not where I stop. This is not where I give in. Speak even when you don't believe it yet. Speaking until your mind catches up. Because your words shape your perspective, and your perspective fuels your perseverance. You gotta be your own motivator, your own coach, your own voice of reason. Waiting for someone else to carry you through won't cut it. This journey is yours. This race is yours. And so is the victory. If you keep going, and don't make the mistake of thinking that perseverance means perfection. It doesn't. You'll fall. You'll make mistakes. You'll get distracted. You'll have to start over. That's part of the process. But quitting, that's final. That's where the story ends. And you were never meant to end here. You were meant to rise again and again as many times as it takes. So every time you feel like quitting, remember your why. Remember who you're doing this for. Remember what you told yourself when you started. Remember how far you've already come. Don't let a hard moment cancel a lifetime of progress. Don't let fear rob you of a future you haven't even seen yet. The world doesn't need more people who quit when it's hard. The world needs warriors, people who rise when it's dark, people who grind when no one's watching, people who keep going even when the applause stops, because those are the people who finish the race. Those are the people who inspire others. Those are the people who create change. You are one of those people. You've got the power to finish strong. You've got the power to endure what would break others. And the best part, every time you choose not to quit, you build that power even more. You strengthen your spirit. You sharpen your mind. You prove to yourself that you're unstoppable. This battle you're in is not here to take you out. It's here to take you higher. But you got to keep climbing, keep trusting, keep showing up. There will be a day when you look back on this season and say, I'm glad I didn't quit. I'm glad I held on. I'm glad I believed in myself when it would have been easier to walk away. So write it down. Tattoo it on your soul. Etch it into your habits. Victory belongs to those who refuse to quit.